Right, good morning everyone. Now, I did say we're going to do lesson 2. Now, lesson 2 is going to be about colouring ribbons for you to embroider with. Now, I did some samples of these. I did this without water, without wetting it first. And that was when I wet it and did different samples. So you can make your own colours up, all one colour or, you know, different colours. And then you can do whatever it is you want to do with yours. Now, we do sell this ribbon and it's seam binding, and we sell it in 3-metre lengths. We do have coloured lengths, green, blue, pink, and a white, obviously. But if you just wanted to buy the white, it comes in 3-metre lengths, and if you just wanted to buy the white, you could and colour your own. Now, obviously, I wouldn't go mad and colour loads. If you're buying one lot, it's 3 metres. I would probably do 1/2 metre of each colour to give you enough to be able to do one flower. So I'm just going to do some samples. This is pure silk, and this is the rayon one. So let's just show you some samples. So you need a nice brush. You need some clear water, and I get 2 pots because you need to wash your brush once you've dipped it in your inks. Now, you can either do it with these inks, like, you know, this is the Glimmer Mist one, the Tattered Angels. I've also got the Adirondack Colour Wash. I've also got the Cosmic Shimmer, which is the one we used to sell. We're getting that back in, folks, so keep your eye out for that because we were the cheapest online. So, basically what you can do, I don't want to go mad, I'm just going to do both. I'm going to cut this just so you can see what they are like. So we'll do, this is the Juneberry wine, straight from the bottle. Move that out of the way, and you can colour these and then dry them off. And as you can see, it colours, I've only used a little bit, right, it colours pretty quick. And we can leave that to dry, and that's a nice colour to do as a flower. And then if, like I say, if we're going to do the pure silk one, which I find doesn't colour as quick, I must admit. But there you go. So that's the pure silk one. So I'm just going to wash my brush. Pop that on there. And I'll just show you a couple of colours. And then we'd have to obviously dry that off. Just let me see if I think I'm plugged in. Yeah, now, oh, this is where you've got to be careful because it'll... Hang on, I'll be back. Sorry about that. So, I'm just going to dry these bits off. Beautiful colour. Just do that, and that's like the, like I say, the Juneberry wine one. So that's really pretty. And I'll do the butterscotch one. I'll take one of those and a piece of that. Oh, sorry, let me just wipe that. Let me get that on it. So here's the butterscotch one. And you can wet them first. Oops. So we'll just wet them down first before you add colour to them. Then add your colour like that. Now let's soak this one. It really does soak in better on this one. On the Ryan one, I mean. See, like that. Just wash that colour out of that brush. And I'm just going to take the excess out of that. And I've tea dyed this as well. This one, the Ryan one. I've tea dyed it. I've used coffee as well. And this doesn't seem to have taken as well as it should. So I'm just going to pin the two together. Oops. But the idea is that you can see, you can colour them and do them whatever colour you want. Didn't take, well, it's actually quite a nice colour, bit lighter, the silk, compared to the Ryan. So I do like them both. The other one, let's just have a look. I'm going to use, just do this one, we'll do the green. So you can see the colours. This is Golden Mint. Like that. And these have got mica to them. See, it doesn't really takes a lot of colouring, does that? But they both work. Like that. Where's my lid? And I'm just going to use my paintbrush to hold on to them. So it really does look nice, doesn't it, that Ryan? It's like a silk. That's the two together. Well, the silk is slightly lighter, but I love these colours. Now, if I wanted to do one that was half one colour and half another, you can do that as well. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to use this one, which is the Plum Twist. Right, so I'm only going to put a bit on this end, because you can use two colours. And then I'm going to go for the green again. Let me just wash that brush. Don't want to mix them up inside. So you can get your double. Now what I'm going to do is just to quickly take hold of the purple again and let it, see, it's bleeding into the other. You can let them bleed into each other. And then you can have a really good mix. Of ribbons to play around with. See, I like it when it's like that. You don't want it so perfect. Come here. But you don't have to use your inks. You can also use pens, you know. Let's try this one. I'm not sure if these spray anymore. No, they don't spray anymore. I've had them an awful long time. A long time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do half of this wet before I put any colour on it. Yeah. And then dry my brush, then put this on. So we'll do that side as well. Oops, see, nearly went. And then that. It's got the green on the bottom, I forgot to wipe it, but never mind. Let's have a look. Again, we're just going to dab that. Because if you dab it off, you get a lighter one. See? See how that was wet first and that wasn't. And let's just dry this off. Ignore the green because I forgot to wipe the deck. There we go. And there, you can see it was darker but lighter where I'd wet it first. Going on to lesson 2 of our ribbon embroidery, but you can also use your threads as well. So I've got my little 6-inch frame ready, my hoop, whatever you want to call them. Make sure your fabric's on nice and tight. You can sew onto any kind of fabric, but for ribbon embroidery it's better, you know, if you've got the weave that you can see, so you can have it a little bit thicker as well. So that's the hoop ready. Now I'm going to be using different threads, different colours. These are the silk ones. We do have some left in the shop. I have threaded several needles. I'm also using pure silk ribbon. This is the 4mm one in a lemon. I've also got the 10mm one in cream, and I've got some 3mm in the white, plus I've got others as well. And I'm also going to be using, this is super soft, absolutely gorgeous ribbon that we sell to make a flower with. But you need to learn some of the basics, and like in the last video we showed you how to do the spider ribbon. Then we're going to show you how to do some of these as well. So let's have a look. Let's just get going with some of the tools you're going to need as well. You can use this for your petals, to hold your petals, and you can use a smaller one as well. And like I say, we've got various threads that we're going to be using. Now I'm going to use this cord, and I think this comes in 2 meters in the shop. Pink, green and cream. So I'm just going to cut some of that, because one of the things I'm going to show you is the couching stitch. So we're going to work through this at the moment, but in the process trying to get something at the end from that. So I'm just going to move this to one side, and we shall go from there. So hopefully you can see this. So I'm going to do a stem, but we're going to couch that down. So first of all, I'm going to take, now what am I going to take? I need a green thread to couch that down. No, I'll use the pink thread just to couch it down so you can see what I mean. So if I'm going to put my, we'll do it there, right there where it is. I'm going to cut it because I don't need all of that. You can just work in small. I'll put it on this side so it's easier to hold. So basically what I'm going to do is to couch that down. So that's to go up the side of, make sure you put your knot in. Push that in. And straight away we've got that couch down. So I'm doing it in pink so you can see it. You more or less go back into the hole that you came up on. Now don't forget, nothing is straight, so you can curve this as you go along. And I just push mine in like that. Now what I'm going to do is to slightly bend it. And we'll bend that back a little bit more. Because you don't have to have your stem straight. And we're going to bend that in like that. I mean, obviously if it was green, which it should be, it wouldn't look as bad, but like I say, I'm using pink so that you can see what I mean by couching. So this is what we call the couching stitch, and it basically is you're holding something down. So we'll bring that out again. And then so that's what we mean by couching. Now an overcast stitch is when you then go back into it and you go down the side of the one you've just done, and you continue to do that. And that's an overcast stitch. And it doesn't matter if you make a gap, you just fill that in. See right there? So that's an overcast stitch. Couching, overcast. Like that. Now I'm going to finish this off and come back. Right, what I've done at the back, now we've got that couch down, as you can see, is to just go up through some of the stitches at the back. And then we just cut that off. Like that. So now what I'm going to do is going to use this ribbon on a large needle, and I'm just going to cut the corner off, and we're going to measure about 4 inches and cut that. Now we do need our lighter. This is only organza, so you only have to singe it very slightly. I'm going to take that through. Right, so what I'm going to do now is to take about 4 inches, and I've singed one end. I'm just going to do the other. Now I need a needle and thread, but pink one. There we go. I've got some pink here. Try to get some needles ready. So I actually need to curve that slightly. Like that. And then we're just going to tack that. Do a running stitch. Like that. I'm going to pull that petal in, and then we're going to anchor that petal down. I'll just stitch that in. Like that. Put the needle back up through the fabric and stitch that in again. So basically anchoring in our first petal. And we want that just there like that. See, like that. And then we can just stitch that into the back. one more stitch. And that's anchored that down. Now I'm just going to do a longer thread on mine, so I don't want it to run out. Like that. There we go. Again, we're going to take another 4 inches, and we're going to need maybe 4 or 5 of those. So we'll just do that to start with. Again, we have these gorgeous little stamen. I'm probably going to use, let's have a look, 6. And we'll see how long they are. I'm going to bend them in half, turn that over. Now, that's slightly too long, but once I've twisted them, that should shorten them. Should do. And I'm going to leave the loop flat like that. That's it, that's all. Really, it's too small a ring, but I'm only showing you techniques. So we're going to pop that in there, bring the needle up into the middle of the loops, and then we're going to stitch around that. So you can see that. I'm going to do both sides. As well as the bottom bit, because we do want them to stay in place. Like that. Pull that back. that should do. But then what I'm going to do is bring that back again. Bring them petals forward. And just anchor that down. And then I've just got enough to stitch off. Like that. And as we turn that over, we can then sort out these stamen. So if that was on a bigger project, that's how it would look. But what we're going to do, and that would have been green, obviously, but I can colour that. That's not a problem, because you just get your felts and you can colour that. So now let me just see. Just going to take my green felt, the dark green, see if we just colour that in. And we're going to do some leaves as well. So, you know, you can do all of this later on. Or use the right thread in the first place. But I was, like I said, I was showing you how to couch something down. And you wouldn't have seen it white on white properly. So, that's near enough. That'll do. We're just showing you. Now we're going to do some little leaves. And you can either stitch on leaves that are ready made, or you can make your leaves using ribbon. Now I've got some, let's have a look here, some of this silk ribbon, but it's got blue in it as well, like a purpley blue as well. But I'm not fussed about that. Let me just move my needles. I'm not fussed about that at all. So we're just going to undo it. And don't use too much at once, because you can spoil it. So I'm just going to put this through the needle. I'm using a large needle for this one, and I've shown you how to do this before. Take your needle, take the end of your ribbon, and just pop it through like that, and then you pull that through, pull a little tab, lay your ribbon flat in the hole, in the eye, and pull that forward. And you can, if you want to, do the same at the bottom, do a couple of stitches like that to make the knot. Doesn't make a big knot, to be honest. I just do that. It's just as quick. I'm just going to cut that little bit off. And we're going to just do something here. So I'm just going to go over that a little bit. At the top, to build it up, like the bit with the seed in. Like that. There we go. And then our first one's going to be in the centre. So the needle through, lay your ribbon down like that, and then what you're going to do is to pop your needle through it when you've got the right length, and it pulls it in and then makes that leaf shape like that. Show you that again. Lay it flat. We don't want it any bigger than that, in the middle, and then watch what happens. It pulls that into a leaf shape like that. I'm going to do another one here. Now you can twist it slightly as well. I'm going to twist this one. So I've twisted that leaf and just pull that in. And we're going to do another one right by that. And just grab that and poke that in there. And pull that in. And we're also going to do one on this side. Twisted one. And one more. So it pulled that one in. Like that. See? And then what I'm going to do is to fill this section in a little bit. Just like that. So then we've got a little flower. Right everyone, and I've already put my piece of fabric in. Now we do sell this particular fabric and you get it in a 1/2 metre and it's top quality for doing embroidery and things like that. And we take a piece of ribbon. I'm using the ombre, the wired one, but I'm going to take the wire out and I just cut about 3 inches, folded it in half, and we're going to make this little rosette. And you can do it in different ribbons. That's for a single one and put a little bit of stamen in there, and then that can be attached to your project, or you can make a flower with it. So we're going to make the flower, and so far I've used 2 of these on that, but we're going to do another one. So you take it, fold it in half, cut the corner off so you're making an eye shape, edged it with the lighter, tacked on a couple of stitches, and then you just stitch around the edge of the whole thing like that. See, and just continue stitching that. I wouldn't do too big a stitch because you need a nice tight gather when you do it. So go to the end like that, and then what you do is you pull it So you're pulling it like that. Now, I don't want this too tight this time because it's going to go around that. But to start off with, if this was the first piece, I would have done 1/2 the size and just done a little fold like I did in the middle there, just a little one. Then I did that petal, and then I've done that one. Now this one's going to attach onto there. So I'm just going to have it as tight as that, as gathered as that, should I say. Now all your parcels have gone out, folks. They were late because we were away on holiday, as I did explain to you before. Now what I might do is, I've stitched that, but now I might just glue it. So I'm just going to plug my glue gun in and turn that on. That won't take long. If I can stitch it, I will. It's just that they get pretty tight. And so the idea now is to wrap this around that flower. So where it's finished and that's gone in, see this edge, that's that edge, and that edge is this edge. You need that in the centre, which helps, gives you the look. And then I'm going to wrap that around. Let me just see if I can stitch it. I will. It can get a bit tricky. So I'm just going to stitch into that. Pull that tight. Make sure it's catching on the bottom of the part I've inserted into this, like that, and just go around the edge, pulling that in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to add leaves, petals to it. Like that. Just pull that in and go over that again. Excuse me. You guessed it, it was Raymond. I don't know how he does it. So that will do that. Oops. And then as you can see, we've done another layer of a flower. But then I'm going to attach that flower onto my project. And then I'm going to build out using some ribbon. And I've got this ribbon, which is super soft. We sell this one as well. I'm just going to seal that off on that end, and I'm using a good, oh, I don't know, 3/4 of a yard. Like that. I'm just going to change needles. We can use this one, it doesn't matter what colour really. And I'm going to fold that down in half. Like that. And then just catch that like that. Just pull that. I can stitch that together. To keep that tight. And then what I can do is I'm going to actually glue this on to the project, and only in the centre so that I can use the stitching around. And we'll just pop that on there. And then I'm going to build on around that. And the way I'm going to do that is to attach right close by and pop that first section in, pop that back through the base next to the flower. That'll stay in. And then I'm going to do so many stitches. So I'm just going to turn mine round this way because I'm right-handed and I need it this way. So you're just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches and pull that together like that. I'm going to put the needle down into the fabric, make sure it doesn't. Right, what I'm going to do now is to put in a leaf. So we're just going to chop that using a smaller needle but with a larger eye. Oops, sorry. It doesn't want to go in, mate. Right, remember what I told you about popping your needle through. And this, we sell this as well in 3-meter strips, but it's thicker to use. And then we just pull that to the top. And I'm just going to knot the end. And then I can colour it, whatever colour I need. So I'm going to put the stem down here. Like that. And then what I'm going to do is to twist it. And then put the stem along there. Like that. So we've got that twisted. Right. I don't need to stitch that on because I can glue that on. And that will be perfectly safe for me to do that. And then what I'm going to do again is to do the leaves. And I did share with you how to do these, but we will go through that again. So I'm going to do one here. And you lay it flat, and you can bring your needle up. I would, in fact, I'm going to twist mine once maybe. So you twist mine and then pop my needle in like that. And watch what happens. As you pull it down, it goes into a point like that. So you've got one petal, one leaf like that. But I can pin that down as well. I'm going to do another one on that side and do it taller like that. Pull it and you see you've got like a leaf, and I'm not sure, I'm going to pin that down there. Just pin it back on itself like that, and then I probably got just enough to do one more. Oops. Like that, which we're going to pin here. Give that a slight, I'm going to open it up a bit first and give that a slight twist, and we're going to go back in like that. And that's pulled that in. like that. And then we can colour that. So let me just get some green. So just take a little paintbrush and some ink. Now we haven't had these cosmic shimmers for a long while, but I am getting them in again. So you can do most of your project. Do it with white, and then paint your colours in. Like that. I just move that to one side because I don't want to knock it off, and I know what I'm like. You can just see where you need to lay some more. And we can put some in there. You could also do it, you know, where you put in some colour into your flowers. If you wanted to. So I want to edge mine.